Just when we used to big news collapsing the cryptocurrency market, well, when we get something the other way, when it works in our favor, and actually the banks tend to get it wrong, well, we see a massive run on Bitcoin. Now, does it mean tomorrow morning when the banks open at 9 a.m. here in the UK that this isn't going to crash the Bitcoin market? Well, time will tell, but we're going to break down exactly what is going on with SVB. Equally, what are the regulators doing and why this could be a pretty insane play, as well as the Bitcoin market going nuts right now. All of that in this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date with the latest going on in the world of cryptocurrency, DeFi and NFTs. But let's get into it. So we all know, unless you've been under a rock for the last 48 hours, that we saw the depegging of USDC and DAI, as well as a couple of other stable coins. Now, the big reason was everybody flocked to the banks to try and take their money out. People were getting out of stable coins. It was absolute chaos. We saw the market dump 935 billion, excuse me. Now, what we are seeing, and I'm going to refresh CoinMarketCap, is we are back over the $1 trillion mark. Absolutely insane. Bitcoin running 6.5%, ETH up 8%. A massive move in the market as people shift back into crypto. So all of a sudden, the banks are the risk. You'll see how big this SVB is with this image on the screen right now, but this is absolutely huge. The magnitude of this fallout is gigantic. Now, there is more pain to come for the banking sector, but actually in the cryptocurrency market, this could be an interesting point. Now, we see USDC at 9878, the point at which I recorded this video, as well as DAI at 9859. Look like they're going to be repegged. Now, the commitment is they will go back to $1 once the banking systems reopen tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. But ultimately, what have we found? Well, the SVB collapse leaves founders liable for unpaid wages. So it is not getting any easier for SVB. Now, off the bat, an investor or anyone that's holding deposits on SVB will be okay. We have an official statement coming out of the Fed in terms of any depositors on there. But it says the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank has left startups scrambling to find emergency loans to pay staff as founders fear being held personally liable for unpaid wages. The bank's closure on Friday has locked in client deposits, the vast majority of which are uninsured, and starved startups of funds to cover basic operations. We have companies doing an RIF, or a reduction in force, saying you're not working here on Monday. They may hire them back, but if it takes 3 to 6 months to get your deposits, then they need to act now, says Matt Cohn, founder of the early stage venture fund Ripple Ventures. So pretty crazy that they are scrambling to try and pull money from every avenue. Now, like we said, there is an official statement coming out of the Fed for any depositors of Silicon Valley. So you can be rest assured that you are going to be able to get your funds back. And this is a 13-3. So it says, Washington, D.C., the following statements were released by the Secretary of the Treasury, Janet L. Yellen, Federal Reserve Board Chair Jerome H. Powell, and FDIC Chairman Martin J. Grunberg. Today, we're taking decisive action to protect the U.S. economy by strengthening public confidence in our banking system. This step will ensure the U.S. banking system continues to perform in its vital role of protecting deposits and providing assets to credit to households and businesses in a manner that promotes strong and sustainable economic growth. Says, after a recommendation from the boards of the FDIC and the Federal Reserve and consulting with the President, Secretary Yellen approves actions enabling the FDIC to complete its resolution of Silicon Valley banks in a manner that fully protects all depositors. Depositors will have access to all of their money starting Monday, March 13th. Now, this is the crazy thing. We are going to see a gigantic run on the bank. It's absolutely going to happen. Ultimately, they are going to panic to get their money out. When they've had it taken away from them, all of a sudden, it's going to go back in. And what's very interesting with this is the fact that the Fed, Jerome Powell, everyone's kind of going, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. Unfortunately, we don't have that luxury in cryptocurrency. That is the nature of it. However, peer-to-peer certainly is feeling pretty good right now versus what we are seeing with the bank. Now, there is also, like I said, some articles coming out. The news is breaking to make sure that depositors get their money back. So absolutely share this video far and wide so that anyone affected by it is going to get it. Now, this is different to things like FTX, where ultimately they are not going to have the banking system protected by the government. That is unfortunately the difference. And the government need to make sure they protect it because they need to make sure that you keep putting your money into the banking system, as opposed to completely owning your own funds. Now, obviously, for those of you that follow my channel, for those of you who've been on the journey that we've been on, cryptocurrency, we try and do things different. We try and do things the right way. And ultimately, what do we make sure we're doing is that we're making sensible investments and being safe at the same time. And the same cannot be said, unfortunately, for the banking systems, but ultimately plans are there to get it. Now, how does this all play out for USDC and and the DAI stablecoin? Ultimately, like we said, we've seen a big run on the cryptocurrency market. Right now, Bitcoin going crazy. Look at this. Almost broke 22K on its way up, 21,895, 6.5%. ETH doing the same. And that is, again, because people believe in Bitcoin. People are coming back to cryptocurrency because actually right now it is much more viable than potentially some of these banks. Says the crisis at Silicon Bank result in volatility in the world's second largest dollar peg stablecoin USDC and Bitcoin trading at relatively high prices on the exchange. Coinbase data tracked by an analytics firm CryptoQuant shows Bitcoin's Coinbase Premium Index, which measures the spread between BTC US dollar denominated price on US-based Coinbase and BTC's Tether denominated price, and offshore giant Binance rose to 0.8, the highest since March 2020. People are buying. Bitcoin trading at a premium on Coinbase is often taken to represent stronger buying pressure from stateside institutions and sophisticated traders. People are buying as this comes back in. It's a brilliant arbitrage attempt. That's why we're seeing some potential lockdowns in some of the exchanges to stop people doing it. But it is on its way back up. Bear in mind, this was at 84 cents. Absolutely crazy. But looks like we could be repegged even before the day is out on some of these stable coins. But like I said, all pretty big news, pretty interesting. We're going to keep you up to date with all of that. The three key points: if you are a depositor of SVB Bank, you are protected. You're going to be able to get your money back. However, the bank's open at 9 a.m. Expect a gigantic rush. Questions will be asked whether they have it. Jerome Powell saying that they will. And finally, the Bitcoin and crypto markets absolutely responding in a positive way, like we said, with 7% up on Bitcoin, could break 22K. But as ever, if you want to see that 22K Bitcoin, the only thing that's going to get it there is by liking this video, sharing it far and wide, making sure people are aware of exactly what's going on it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.